go into Timberwolf country. It's the best team in the Western Conference record-wise, and they get themselves a victory. Alex Caruso with a huge, huge game. Welcome on in. This is Toyota Bulls Post Game Live. We are in our downtown Chicago studios. I am Jason Goff, alongside 15-year NBA veteran, fifth pick in the 1990 NBA draft, Kendall Gill. To his left, four-time NBA world champion, Will Perdue. And fellas, before we break it down, let's send it on back out to Minnesota. KC is standing by with the player of the game tonight, Alex Caruso.
Alex, I usually start with a
first team.
I usually start with a team-related question, but I have to start with an individually based question. What got into you from three-point range tonight?
Honestly, it just felt good. I came out, had pretty good energy. The DJ they had pregame when I was shooting was playing some bangers. So I was just kind of vibing off that. And then the first couple went in, and the ball kept finding me, and I just had open catch and shoots. Yeah, once you see the first couple go in, I'm just glad I finally got over the 5 mark. I was excited at halftime. I knew I had 5. I wanted to get at least one more. I got 2, and that was good.
Take us through that possession where you hit that big one from the corner down the stretch to kind of ice the game.
I think Vooch got the rebound. Yeah, Vooch got the offensive rebound. I went and get it. I gave it to Debo, set us up. We went spread, pick and roll. Vooch hit a crazy tip pass to me. And I knew that it was my shot, and I was in the corner. It felt good, as soon as I released it.
Anthony Edwards is such a tough cover. You guys limited him to some extent. How'd you do it?
Yeah, to some extent. He still had probably his average. I don't know what it was. But he's so good, man. He's strong. He's quick. Changes directions well. Makes shots. We just try to make it tough on him. I didn't do it by myself. Guys didn't do it by themselves. They did it with help. And I think when we're locked in, 5 guys like that, we're a good team.
That's 2 big wins for you guys this week with Indiana and Minnesota. You got a big one coming up tonight. What's it going to take to get it done?
Yeah, same recipe. We just got to look at each game. We got to win one at a time. We got to win one at a time. Be ready for the games when they come April 16th, 17th, whenever it is. That's what we're building towards.
And are you still bleeding or not?
Yeah, I am, man. I got the Wolverine tape job right now.
Thanks, Alex. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Obviously, it starts with DeMar. All right. Then we're hoping and praying that Kobe's going to be able to step up, kind of get over that hump. We know he's dealing with, serious mental and physical fatigue, but he's got to find a way. This is new for him. And then probably, let's throw Io in there as the third option, right? So we're basically telling ourselves, okay, we need one other guy per game. So we can honestly say Vooch had a good game scoring. He did some wacky stuff on the defensive end, but we'll just leave that. But probably it's going to be one of those things where guys take turns. One night it'll be Caruso. Hopefully one night Drummond has a big game.
Right.
It's one of those things where they're going to have to do it by committee. Tonight it was Caruso. Listen, maybe you go talk to that DJ and get those songs.
Right.
And I would say put it on your iPod.
Right.
But,
get your playlist right.
Get your playlist right and see what you can do, because we're going to need you to do that every game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Speaking of doing it every game, we've seen it in his Bulls career. DeMar DeRozan is a professional scorer, and he did it again tonight. 27 big points, 11 for 20.
He was able to deal with it and go ahead and score the buckets. I'm just glad that he put this team upon his shoulders, because the Bulls desperately needed this basketball game.
8 assists tonight as well, Will.
Yeah.
I mean, DeMar was their initiator in offense, and it seems like since Kobe has come back from the hip injury, they've been trying to, add the playmaking responsibilities to his plate a little bit more, but we've seen DeMar handling the ball a lot more over these last week and a half or so.
Yeah, and honestly, I just think that's his call. I don't necessarily think that that's something that Billy's talking about specifically. We always talk about how it kind of makes me a little uneasy when DeMar handles the ball so much, because it really slows down the pace. Tonight, a perfect example, only 80 field goals. So what does that mean? Does that mean you can't win? No. But the slower the pace you play and the fewer shots you get up, the less room for error you have. So then you say, okay, so then how did they win? Well, yeah, DeMar. But you're 17 of 29 from 3.
Yeah. That's that.
So how often does that actually happen? Or do you want to put yourself in a position where you got to shoot 45% or better every single night just to have your best chance to win? We know that the best chance for this team is to play up tempo. But at the same time, this is where it's kind of like 6 one half a dozen the other. You want to play faster, but the ball does need to be in DeMar's hands. As you talked about, if you want to say there was a weakness tonight, 4 turnovers. but at the same time, 8 assists. At the end of the night, they dug down deep. They found a way to win. You know, with playing so well early, you thought they were going to just kick it to the curb and somehow puke all over themselves, but they didn't. They made it interesting, but they found a way to win. So this is great. Celebrate in the locker room. By the time you get on that plane tonight, you better be thinking about the Atlanta Hawks and how we win this next game, because it's not just another game. This is actually the team behind you that you gave yourself a little more space to.
Yeah.
But if you lose the game tomorrow night, now you're back to square one, and these other games become so much more important.
Yeah, speaking of turnovers, 16 for the Bulls tonight. That's really uncharacteristic of the Bulls.
I like them.
Yeah, normally they are in single digits with the turnovers, and it was just uncharacteristic for them to turn the basketball over the way that they did tonight. I'm glad, because that could have been the game. I'm glad they were hitting those threes, but those turnovers were really critical.
You know, as young a team as the Minnesota Timberwolves are, they don't run a lot. So, you know, another team might have capitalized on those turnovers a lot more, but for whatever reason, well, not whatever reason, they got two bigs, one's not in the lineup, but they don't run a lot. So Minnesota was not able to take advantage of those 16 turnovers. Speaking of tomorrow, Nikola Vucevic should have a big game against the Atlanta Hawks, who don't have really a big man that can sizably match up with Vooch. He did it tonight against one of the premier defensive players in all of the NBA. We've been seeing low shot totals from him over the last couple of games, so good to see him back in effect.
Yeah, it is, and that's the one thing that the Bulls have to do, continue to feed Vooch to keep him engaged, because the one thing that we are starting to notice, if he is not engaged offensively, he kind of floats a little bit.
But the perception was, when you just watched the game, he didn't play that well. But then when you look at the numbers, you're like, okay, he had a severe impact on this game, and it still, in my opinion, wasn't one of his better games. I think he can do better. So now you're talking about, Jay, that this is an ideal matchup for not only Vooch and the Bulls. So, you know, it's identify your opponent, what are their strengths and weaknesses, attack those weaknesses within your strengths. Don't take yourself out of your game trying to attack their weaknesses, and hopefully win a game at home.
Yep, there it is. We got a lot more for you here on Toyota Bulls Post Game Live. Bulls with a big win over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Looking forward to the Atlanta Hawks tomorrow night, but we still got to talk about this one. 109-101 is the final score. You're watching NBC Sports Chicago. What? You just pick and rolling, just handling stuff in the paint, big men being big men.
Having your favorite playlist on during warm-up.
Oh, yeah.
For your precious love, the stars spell out love longing for our union then. Love my fragrance so captivating. You're close to me, I lose myself. Never thought I would find love like this. Never thought I would be waiting. Move your body, let your spirit soar. Ella, you're at a move your body. Oh, I love mine, I know I love mine. too. You were